I just came back from seeing Transformers. What the hell was I thinking? Well, hello there to all of my fellow moviegoers out there. Hope you guys are doing great. Whew, I swear, I'm like so exhausted right now. I just got back from seeing the Transformer movies, which is, I mean, what a way to start off the weekend by watching an almost 3 hour long movie. It's probably more like 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours of a movie. So let's just get right into it. Here, here, here we go. Okay, so honestly, I don't even know where to begin to start to tell you about this movie because it's just so much confusion is going on in this movie. I can't even explain. Like my brain is just going a mile a minute right now. Literally. I'm still in shock with how long this damn movie was. But anyway, you know what? I'm just gonna start with what's good about the movie. Let's start with the positive stuff first. What's good about the movie is there's a lot of action and more action and more action and even more action and more action and more action. Action upon action compounded with more action compounded with more action. So if you like a lot of action, which is typical Michael Bay's films, if you like a lot of action, this movie is not in any way void of any action. So the movie does have a lot of action. And that's actually the only good thing about the movie is it does have a lot of action. It has so much action that it gets kind of repetitive and to me a little bit boring, but it does have a lot of action. Now, what's bad about the movie is pretty much everything. Um, I mean, literally, pretty much everything. For one, the movie is almost 3 hours long. When I went to this movie, I was, think usually I look at the time um, of how long the movie is, but I didn't even bother to look at the time because I was like, oh, this movie be like an hour and 30 minutes. No, it was not. It was almost 3 hours long. So that's one bad thing about the movie is because you're sitting there for almost 3 hours of just nothingness. The plot, to me, the continuum of the plot, I felt some type of way because it did not explain. You have a whole new cast here, for one. And when you have 4 movies, 3 of which have the same characters, or mostly the same characters, really pointing out Shia LaBeouf, and then the 4th one completely eliminates him. You kind of want to know why that happened, or maybe some backstory to maybe he's off pursuing whatever, but it doesn't really explain that. This is just starts with a whole new cast of people: Mark Wahlberg, Stanley Tucci, Kelsey Grammer, all of which are in this movie, and all are which are good actors, but really do nothing for this film. There's really nothing that they could have done to make this film any more watchable than unwatchable it was. To me, I really just felt like this movie was kind of just there. Like it just dropped out of the sky and the studio was just like, you know what? Boom. Transformers. Here you go. We've put, 3 Transformer movies out. We need to make a 4th one. So let's just, put a lot of action into it. And that's another thing. I felt like they put so much action in the movie to try to make the moviegoer forget about how bad the movie really is. Like, oh, just forget about, the plot, forget about everything else. We got a lot of action for you guys, and hopefully you'll just take it as it is. Well, you know what? I'm not taking it as it is because this movie was just, even with all the action, it was just so unwatchable, and even the action got boring. I mean, what can I say? And honestly, I mean, that's really all I have to say about this movie. I am just so exhausted right now. Maybe if the movie wasn't 3 hours long, I would have a little more good things to say. But honestly, I don't really have anything else to say about this movie. And with all of that said, my verdict on this movie is. That's right, folks. This movie was completely, utterly a disaster. I would not wish this movie on my worst enemy. And there are some angry kittens all around the world right now. But anyway, folks, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Bad movie is a bad movie. I'm sorry. And unfortunately, I do think there's going to be a Transformers 5, but we'll cross that bridge and burn it when we get to it. Transformers, what the